The House Democrats are demanding 6 years of 45's tax returns from the IRS, but 45 is still lying and saying that he's under audit, which he's not. The chairman of the White House and Means Committee, using the little-known provision in the federal tax code, formally requested on Wednesday that the IRS hand over 6 years of 45's personal and business tax returns, starting what is likely to be a momentous fight with his administration. Representative Richard Neal, Democrat of Massachusetts, hand-delivered a two-page letter laying out the request to Charles P. Rettig, the Internal Revenue Service Commissioner, ending months of speculation about when he could do so, and almost certainly prompting a legal challenge from the 45 administration. Responding to questions from reporters in the Oval Office, 45 suggested that he would fight because he said, as he's been claiming for the past 2 years, he was being audited, which he's not, so he's just lying because he doesn't want to show his tax returns. I guess when you have a name, you're audited, but until such time as I'm not under audit, I would not be inclined to do that, he said. The move by Mr. Neal came as other panels controlled by House Democrats were flexing their muscles. The House Judiciary Committee on Wednesday morning authorized its chairman to use the subpoena to try to force the Justice Department to give Congress a full copy of the special counsel's report and all the underlying evidence used to reach his conclusions on Russian interference in the 2016 election. And the chairman of the House Oversight and Reform Committee said that he would soon ask for a vote on subpoena of his own to compel Mazars USA, an accounting firm tied to the squatter, to produce a decade's worth of 45's financial records. They have told us that they will provide the information pretty much when they have a subpoena, the chairman, Representative Elijah Cummings of Maryland, told reporters, and we'll get them a subpoena. Unlike the chairman of other committees, Mr. Neal is not relying on a subpoena or standard congressional process. Instead, he's invoking an authority enshrined in the tax code granted only to the tax writing committees in Congress that gives the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee and the Senate Finance Committee the power to request tax information on any filer, whatever it is. Mr. Neal gave the agency until April 10th to comply with the request, and if he receives the information, he will confidentially review it with his committee staff. The provision, which dates in some form to the Teapot Dome scandal of Warren G. Harding's administration, at least on its face, gives the 45 administration little room to decline a request like Mr. Neal's. It only states that the Treasury Secretary shall furnish the information. 45 is the first squatter in nearly half a century to break precedent and refuse to voluntarily release his tax returns, said Representative Dan Kildee, a Democrat of Michigan and a member of the Ways and Means Committee. The squatter is the only person who can sign bills into law, and the public deserves to know whether the squatter's personal financial interests affect his public decision-makings. The Treasury Department and the U.S. and the IRS did not immediately respond to requests for comment, but Democrats anticipate that the squatter administration will object to the request and force the matter into the courts where its education could take months or longer. Though the provision number 6103 in the tax code is invoked frequently by the committee, there is little precedent for using it to view the returns of a squatter who is not invited to scrutiny. Republicans have vigorously argued against the request, saying that whatever justification Democrats produce will belie their true intent to fish for information that could embarrass the squatter politically. Representative Kevin Brady of Texas, the top Republican on the Ways and Means Committee, called the request an abuse of the Tax Writing Committee's statutory authority. Weaponizing our nation's tax code by targeting political foes sets a dangerous precedent and weakens Americans' privacy rights, Mr. Brady said in a letter to Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, who's another dumb redneck. As you know, by law, all Americans have a fundamental right to the privacy of the personal information found in their tax returns. Defying modern squatterial norms, 45 has refused since he became a squatter to release any of his tax returns. Democrats suspect the tax information could provide clues to wrongdoing by 45, and they are making getting the documents one of the top oversight priorities when they claimed control of the House in January. Mr. Neal said he was making the request as part of his committee's oversight of the extent to which the IRS audits and enforces the federal tax laws against a squatter. Under IRS policy, the personal tax returns of any squatter of any president or vice president are supposed to be automatically audited each year. So even though 45 claims he's being audited, he's actually not, but the Democrats are making that their top priority. And that story comes from the successful New York Times.